Yo, once again, it's on. Back at you one more again. Yeah, I mean, Real Kens TV and the House Light Kitchen Sinks. Hopefully, you like the video. Feel free to comment. Definitely share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already subscribed, and hit that post notification so anytime I bring you this heat, this action, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive it. Now, with no further ado, let's get into this afternoon's video, if you will. You know, a lot of people recognize the name Jay Williams. Let's Live Life. For you all that may not recognize Jay Williams, he's a YouTuber. And he talks about prison, and he also talks about, how at one point in his life, he was kind of on a downward spiral, if you will. And, the last time rather that he came out of prison, he completely turned his entire life around. He has a successful construction business. Also, he has a very successful YouTube channel. I think he's close to 400,000 subscribers. He may be at 400,000 at this point. I'm not sure, but I know that he's up there. Well, it's been a whole lot going on lately with Jay Williams. According to the internet and several different, YouTube channels, Jay Williams has been arrested. And, I've seen an overwhelming amount of, support for Jay Williams. That just lets you know that you're doing the right thing, because so many people that have never even met this man, I've never met him, so many people that he's never even met are inspired by his story. His stories that he continuously tells and sheds light on, at one point he was in a dark, dark place. Several times in his life he was in a dark, dark place. But he kept believing in himself, and he eventually came home and got himself together, has a family, he has a home, he has a, like I said, a successful construction business, a successful YouTube channel, and things of that nature. So a lot of people, I've been reading a lot of comments, and a lot of people are supporting him. You got a couple haters. You have some people that say, oh yeah, Jay Williams, he was the one that inspired me to make my YouTube channel. And then they'll come back and say something underhand, something slick. You know what I'm saying? You call it slick, underhanded. But I could just tell that, something was going on with him. I don't know if he relapsed. I don't know if he, saying stuff like that, man. It's uncalled for. But nevertheless, it seems as though he's been incarcerated in Virginia, and they won't give him bond. Now, I want to get on here and try to enlighten you all on what he's possibly going through being in that county jail. See, Virginia is one of the few remaining Commonwealth states. I'm in Kentucky. We're a Commonwealth state. So a lot of our laws kind of similar. But the thing about a Commonwealth state, they kind of just make up laws as they go. Now the difference between a Commonwealth state and a regular non-Commonwealth state, say two people, get in a fight. Say two people get in a fight, right? Say Bill and Al. Bill and Al get in a fight. Bill beats Al up. Okay. Bill beats Al up. Al presses charges. So now they come and arrest Bill. Well, on down the line, Al decides he doesn't want to pursue the matter. He doesn't want to press charges. Well, without him continuing to come to court, they'll just drop the charges. In the Commonwealth state, it's not going down like that. Because if Al decides that he doesn't want to, pursue the matter, guess what? The Commonwealth is going to step in and pick up the charges. It's crazy how it works, man. But that's just how it works. So I've never been to Virginia. I don't really, prior to doing this video, I looked up some of their laws, some of the gun laws. And it appears, I didn't do much research, but it appears that they have a 5-year minimum for a felon being in possession of a handgun. And what I've been told is that, he had DUI, driving while under the influence, which is a big deal because you shouldn't drive when you're drunk. Nobody should. But at the same time, it's a misdemeanor. And the possession of a handgun or a firearm by a convicted felon, unfortunately, he was charged with that just as well. Now, I know a lot of people that, they feel like, well, what was he doing with a gun? He know he wasn't supposed to have one. Let me explain something to you all. Let me explain something for you all that don't know. When you lose your right to carry a gun, a firearm, to protect yourself, that puts you in a whole different kind of category. You know what I mean? This man has kids. This man has a successful business. This man has a successful YouTube channel. So people know who he is. People see him and they know who he is. But at the same time, there's a lot of people he sees and he don't know who they are. They've just seen him online. Like I said, a lot of people support Jay Williams. Let's live life. But a lot of people hate too. So just imagine you out with your kids, with your family, and somebody's just, taunting you or trying to do something to you and your family. And because you have a old criminal history, you can't really protect your family. So a lot of people feel like, not saying him, I'm just saying a lot of people feel like, man, I'd rather get caught with it than without it. You know what I mean? Let 12 judge me, opposed to 6 carrying me. So a lot of people, man, they'll take them chances and go on and, carry one anyway, just to protect their family. That's it. They're not trying to rob nobody. They're not trying to hurt nobody. They're not trying to flaunt it. They're not trying to do anything like that, if you will. So in Jay Williams' situation, like I said, I never met the man. I'm just, I've been in his shoes several times as well. I've done over 10 years in prison as well. Now, excuse me. I definitely understand, his mentality. I definitely understand, the situation. But there's a lot of things that we don't know. Perhaps it wasn't his gun. See, we don't know. Perhaps there was someone else in the vehicle and no one stepping up saying it was my gun. Perhaps he gave somebody a ride that wasn't a felon, but it's not a felon, and they accidentally left the gun in the car. That happens quite often. Now, if that's the case, the gun's clean. It doesn't come back with any murders or anything like that on it. I gave Bob a ride, and I didn't know Bob had the gun. Bob accidentally left the gun in the car, and I was driving. I ain't have no clue the gun was. And Bob steps forward and say, "Hey, that was my gun." Bob's not a felon. Guess what? Bob might get hit with a fine at best. Nothing major. So we don't really know the ins and outs. We'll just have to wait and see. I'm imagining that he will eventually get a bond. Again, I don't know Virginia's laws. I know that they're a Commonwealth state, and I did look up some of their laws, so I'm able to kind of decipher and understand certain things, if you will. I know in Kentucky, when you get caught with a gun and you're a convicted felon, you definitely have a bond. I believe your bond is like $5,000. But see, the thing about it is this. With those mandatory sentences, then they're subject to hit you. There's a couple different things that can happen. Hopefully, he just beats it all together. It wasn't his gun. Perhaps the police pulled him over and they didn't have probable cause. Illegal search and seizure, which is kind of difficult to get. But nevertheless, it does happen. So hopefully it just wasn't his gun. Someone steps forward and says, "Hey, I left the gun in his car by mistake. He didn't even know it was in here." And he gets a fine for his DUI. He learns a valuable lesson. He takes some classes about drinking and driving. And he's able to go home to his family and, proceed on with his life. When you catch a case like that, not only do you sometimes face a mandatory minimum, but you have sentence enhancements. So a sentence enhancement is really like double jeopardy. So let's just say you have a mandatory minimum of 5 years. Okay, you have a mandatory minimum of 5 years for getting caught with a gun. But yet you have 2 prior felony convictions. So that 5-year minimum may go up to 10 years. It may go up to 12. It may go up to 15 years. It just depends on what the prosecution wants to do. And depends on how long it's been since you've been in trouble. See, the prosecution don't give a darn about Jay Williams' Let's Live Life, YouTube channel. They probably jealous when they, see all the revenue, the income that he's generating. Because he's making just as much, probably more than them. So they're not really gonna like that too much. But they don't give a darn about him having a YouTube channel. Only thing they look at is, what is his past? How many prior convictions does he have? You know what I mean? How long has he been out? That's gonna be a key factor as far as if they try to hit him with a sentence enhancement. I know in Kentucky, if you've been clear of the system for 5 years, meaning you've been home for 5 years and you haven't had any trouble, and either you served out or you completed your parole, they can't hit you with a sentence enhancement. So a lot of factors, key factors, factor into his case. And again, I'm just trying to enlighten some of you because I know a lot of you all are Jay Williams fans, just like I am. Heck, he inspired me. Again, he inspired me to start my YouTube channel. I never thought about starting a YouTube channel until I started watching Jay Williams and also Big Hurt 916, the Fresh Out series as well. So those are the two individuals. Shout out to both of them. They're the two individuals that, inspired me to start my own YouTube channel. So while he's going through these things, I know a lot of you are wondering what's going on. The best thing you can do for him is just pray for him. Just pray for him, because when you're going through that system, it's just so much that they can do to you, And then, heaven forbid that the feds come in and pick up the case. Because a lot of times, man, the feds are coming in picking up cases. You're a convicted felon. You get caught with a gun. Depending on your history, if you've had some violence in your history, if you had a prior gun charge, I don't know what his priors are. You hope and pray that the feds don't come in and pick up the case. Because now when you're dealing with the feds, you're dealing with a whole different animal. It's a whole different animal with the feds, man. They definitely have mandatory minimums. And they go off of a point system. And wherever your guideline, they have a sentencing guideline. And wherever you fall in is where you fall in. You know what I mean? So you do 85% of your time in the feds. Somebody said it's a little lower now because you get the First Step Act. You get good time knocked off or whatever towards your sentence if you take classes. I'm not sure. I got a couple buddies in the feds, but they're not even sure yet, to be honest. So we want to hope and pray that the feds don't come in and pick up his case. Again, I don't know Virginia's parole laws. I looked them up. I think if it's your first time down, you do 25% of your sentence, then you go up for parole, whatever time that you sentenced to. I think it's your second time down, you do a third of your sentence. If it's your third time, you do 2/3 of your sentence, I believe. If it's your third time. So there's so many different, variances to the case. Like I said, hopefully he beats all of that. Hopefully, sometimes, they'll keep you in jail for a couple weeks until you go back to court. Then they'll issue you a bond. And they're probably gonna, make it like he, did something just outrageous and probably put him on house arrest and make him wear ankle monitor and submit to drug testing and alcohol testing and all of these things. But guess what? It's better to be out here than to be in there. And, for you all that are passing judgment on this guy, understand this, man. We all just human beings, man. That's all we are. We flesh. We human beings. We all gonna make mistakes. He didn't go in and rob anybody. He didn't go in and do anything. He wasn't selling dope. He wasn't, He was protecting his family. Allegedly. He's protecting his family, man. Somebody breaks into your house and tries to do something. You got 2, 3 kids, 1 kid, whoever in the house. Man, you're going to do whatever you need to do to protect them. Because guess what? If you don't, you might not be here to tell your story. So if I got to go do a little time after that to protect my family, although I don't want to leave my family, but if that's what it takes, then some people, they feel like it's worth it. So hopefully, it shed a little light for you all that are Jay Williams fans, because I definitely am. Like I said, I ain't never met the man. I just watch his videos like a lot of you all do, but I've been there, done that, You know what I'm saying? I understand exactly what he's going through right now, and I understand. And all the support that you all are giving him, man, he's getting word of it because he's speaking with his wife. He got a couple buddies that's going to his page, and they telling him what's all going on. You know, all the love and the encouraging words, you know. And for you haters that's acting like, oh yeah, man, Jay, he turned me on to YouTube and he supported my channel, but then you saying little slick stuff. Well, that's what he gets for being around all those felons. That's what he gets for hiring all those. He's giving people a chance that a lot of you business owners wouldn't give a person. So don't talk down on the man just because he's in a, you know, a bad situation. The turtle don't always lose the race, man. You know what I'm saying? He started off the turtle, and guess what? Look what he turned into. So he took some steps backwards. You know what I'm saying? He'll come out of it. Real Kens TV, man. Hopefully you liked the video. Feel free to comment. Definitely share this. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already subscribed. That post notifications. Anytime I bring you this heat and this action, you'll be amongst the first to receive it. Free Jay Williams. Let's live life. Real Kens TV. We out.